What's up, everybody? YouTube family, UTT here, the Travel MC. Just felt like speaking on these headlines I've been hearing about Colombia, about this guy that took a taxi and got robbed and scoped and all this sort of thing. And I'm gonna give my input. I've always been told that you never get in cabs in Colombia. That's one thing you don't do. Colombia is my place, that's my spot, but I do not get in cabs. I do follow protocol that I've heard over the years. Okay, because it's just certain ways you gotta move when you're down there. You gotta be cautious down there. You can't walk around, like I tell people, you can't even have your phone out. You know, me and my girl, we're supposed to be going to Colombia sometime either this month or next month. No, we're going either July or August. But I've already told her you do not want to pull your phone out in Colombia. And if you do pull it out, make it quick. Don't just walk around with your camera out, have it flashing, that sort of thing. That's neither here nor there. I'm going to get back to the story. It's a sad situation. I mean, got robbed, getting into a taxi. That's just a no-no. You don't get into taxis in Colombia unless you really, really have to, and you really got to know what's going on. And I was always told you want to do Uber, or they got another ride share in Colombia. I can't think of it offhand, but when I get back to you guys later in the video, I'll reveal that one. But as for right now, when I go to Colombia, I always use Uber. And on average, the rides cost about $3 to $5 no matter where you're going, unless you're going to a different city. Then it's probably going to run you a little bit more. But if you're not doing that, then you can like $3-5 to commute and get around in Colombia.
I did some sightseeing, met local family, cook, invite me in. Transpired before my night began. Space Dolce Vita, some spots I might be in. Yeah, avoid night crawlers and the stragglers. Got scope polamine, they drug and robbing travelers. Price the girl dopamine for life.
YouTube, what up? UTT, the Travel MC. Like, share, subscribe. And if you feel like supporting what I got going on, please join the Patreon to get more private, disclosed information that I am not allowed or permitted to share on YouTube. Thanks again. See y'all soon.
Let me take you to the heart of Medellín, Colombia, where salsa spills from the clubs, the air is thick with tropical heat, and the nights glitter in places like Provenza, a nightlife district nestled inside the famous El Poblado. Yes, this is a red light district. This is where everything happens at, and if you go here, you will have a great time. You just have to be on your P's and Q's and be careful. That's what I would say, okay? Finishing up, it was just another Saturday night when Juan José stepped out into the buzzing streets of Provenza, a young traveler full of life and laughter. Maybe still echoing the last joke from the bar, music playing, people laughing. The night felt endless. I'm sure it did. But sometimes in the beauty of a place, danger wears a smile. Of course it does. That's the environment that you're in. Juan hailed a taxi on the street like many tourists do. I'm not sure about that. I mean, I don't agree with that part. I don't think many tourists are hauling taxis. People do know to do Ubers, but some people are definitely naive and foolish when getting into taxis, especially if you're not from Medellín or Colombia itself. You're not really familiar with what's going on or who's who behind these taxis. He slid into the back seat thinking only of rest, but what he didn't know was that the man behind the wheel had far more sinister route in mind. Of course he did. He was up to something. He was up to something. Moments into the ride, something shifted. Juan would later recall only fragments, that blurring of lights, a strange taste, then nothing. Yep, that's what happened. He got. Because the driver had used something the locals call aliento del diablo, devil's breath. Its real name is scopolamine, a chemical so powerful it can erase your will, cloud, memory, make you a puppet with no strings visible. Derived from nightshade plants, this drug doesn't just sedate, it controls. Well, that's in the soundtrack, ladies and gentlemen. You know that's in my soundtrack.
Got scope, dopamine, they drug and robbing travelers. Pice the girl, dopamine for a lot of travelers. Chica Mario, the Senorita Tabitha.
By the time Juan was aware again, he was lying on the cold sidewalk in downtown Medellín, robbed of everything. His phone, his wallet, his dignity. But he was lucky. The security guard spotted him and called for help. He survived, but many don't, which is true. Many don't. This is a common story. It comes out a lot. Today, Juan is speaking out, not just to find justice for himself, but to warn others, because this isn't just about one man's nightmare. This is a pattern, a tactic, a shadow under the bright lights of Colombia's party capital. Of course it is. Man, it's definitely getting popular. I first went to Medellín in 2016. It wasn't really as relevant then, but now I would say in the mid-20s, which is what we are now, it's definitely more out there. Let this be a message to everyone, traveler, dreamer, and adventurer out there. In Medellín, never hail a taxi off the street at night. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, you must get consultations. Consultation would let this guy know that this was a no-no. Trusted app that I mentioned to you guys was Uber. I'm not really familiar with Cabify and InDriver, but this article states that InDriver and Cabify, so maybe you guys can look that up, do some research on that. I think I might do some research as well, because I'll be in Colombia sometime next month. Okay. Stick to the official services. Don't gamble with strangers' steering wheel and your safety riding shotgun. Nope. Don't do it. Juan's story could have ended differently, but now it's a wake-up call. Don't let the city's charm blind you to its dangers. Respect to the place and respect your peace, because one wrong ride could change everything. Yes, it could. All it takes is one wrong ride. So that's it. Yep. It's an unfortunate situation. You just gotta be careful. And I'm a big believer of having hostels. And if you want to get an Airbnb, get the Airbnb. Keep your stuff in a locker at the hostel. And whatever you're gonna do, if you're gonna entertain the Airbnb, then that's up to you. That's your choice. I've never indulged in those activities, but I would recommend if anybody does that, go to the hostel. Keep your belongings at the hostel, or vice versa. Keep your belongings at the, well, you can't do anything at the hostel anyway, but I mean, keep your belongings at the hostel. They give you lockers. They can actually lock your luggage. And keep nothing at the Airbnb. So that way, if you're there, if something happens, you can't get robbed for anything. It's common sense, but people don't think this way. They're so naive and they're stuck in their ways, and they just think that they could just be carefree.
I did some sightseeing, met local family, cook, invite me in. Transpired before my night began. Space Dolce Vita, some spots I might be in. Yeah, avoid night crawlers and the stragglers. Got scope, pole, they drug and robbing travelers. Pice the girl, dopamine for life.